Hello YouTube. Outdoor Dyahanne here. It's a wintry day in Chicago, and I don't know, it always seems to happen when it gets really cold in Chicago. We have things that we have to do outside. I walked into my garage the other day and found that my chain for my remote door opener was hanging off. And on close inspection, and I thought, what could happen there? I found that the chain was supposed to be on this sprocket at the top, but as you can see, the sprocket is off. The sprocket came from this gear. So this attaches to the top of here. The gear turns around, the chain is at the top, but on close inspection, I'll show you an image of it, it is really dirty, so that the sprocket had been grinding. And I called, like many of you would, to find out how much it would cost to replace this gear, this gear assembly with the sprocket. And I got estimates anywhere from $200 to $300 and maybe a little bit more. And I found the part on Amazon, it costs under $20. And I thought, is this something that I can do? You know, something I probably could do. Now, I don't know about the chain adjustment because I've done that before. It's a tricky little thing. But I did order the part to see if I can do it. So what I did was, I only needed a few tools. I haven't done it as yet, but I did take off, as you can see, that gear assembly. You only need a few items to be able to do that. So if you can climb on a step stool, you will need a 5/16 inch wrench. You will need a nut driver. So you can use your drill for two of the screws, because the assembly attaches in 3 places. But in order to get to the 3 places where you can either remove the old one or replace the new one, you've got to take off the assembly, which is the cover. You've got to take off the cover, and then once you take off these screws, then you can just push this thing right up. It's really easy. My problem was I had never really used a nut driver. I'm good with other kind of tools, but it took me only 10 minutes to remove that. So today, and I do things in parts sometimes because I don't have a real reason to go into the garage, but I took it off and I'm going to replace this one with this the kit that I got from Amazon for $20. They gave you a lot of parts. The best thing that you can think of is not to try and put all the parts in. A couple of the things you won't need, but there's going to be grease in there, and just pop it in and put those screws back where you found them, you know, in that location. Simple enough. Now again, when it comes to adjusting the chain, you might want to seek a little help for that, but I have done that little bit before, and maybe that's why this, you know, after a couple years ago, maybe that's why this is off. But we'll see about putting in this assembly. And again, you're only going to need a couple of things. So I'm going to open up this. I'm going to lay out the parts that I need. And yeah, let's get started. So I have a Chamberlain LiftMaster half horsepower, and I've been looking at the chain to see what's going on, but apparently I've been looking at the wrong end. I don't see any breakage there, no damages. So what could be the problem? So I got my ladder, went to the top of the unit where the chain would attach, and this is what I saw. This is the sprocket. It had been sheared off. Time for a new sprocket. After disconnecting the power and unplugging the unit, I took my power tool and took off the screws that holds the cover. First, you're going to take off the end covers that cover the light, those easy push, and pull. Those covers come off. And then you're going to take off, there should be about 4 screws, and you can do that with your drill. So this is what the sprocket assembly looks like from underneath. It's that whole piece. You're going to have to remove that from the 3 black screws. So since I was able to take the part off, I recognized the fact that I could put this part back on. So you go inside your garage door opener, and inside the panel there'll be a model number. You take the model number, write it down, make sure you have the right number, and you go to Amazon and the part will be listed. So as you can see, it comes with the assembly. And before you put it in the, after you've taken it out, and I'll show you what that looks like at the top, you're gonna have to remove this clip. This clip is attached, it's a 3-prong tip, and it just slides right in there. And so you're gonna take this off, slide it in, but before, you're gonna put some nice lubricant, this grease, silicone grease that they give you here. I'm gonna put some here, and then there is another, it looks like this, but I won't be replacing that because that looks fine. So I'm going to clean off the old grease from it. I'm going to put in the areas there, I'm going to put this new grease. I'm going to take this clip off, I'm going to slide it in, and then I'm going to place the screws that came with it. I'll show you these screws. I'm going to place it, and they go upside down, when you're in there. Now, one thing I have to tell you is that you'll see there's 1 hole, there's 2 holes, and then there's 3 holes. At the top of the unit, there are same kind of holes. There's only 3 that will have screws, but this is to give you an adjustment. Some say, I was looking at YouTube, that what happens is you're going to put these squares facing the front of the door and the back of the door, but I'm going to make sure that the holes are aligned. So I'm only going to be using the 3 screws, but I'm going to make sure that the 3 screws are at the same location at the top of the unit where those holes are. Okay? Okay, so I've removed the clip from the bottom here. It's a 3-pronger. Just take that right off. And I'm hoping to stay in focus here, but I'm going to liberally put the grease in each of those, and I'm going to be really liberal, spread it around. I cleaned this, this is the part that I won't be replacing because it looks in good shape, but I used a Q-tip to get in there, and then this is just one of those sponge paint brushes that you get from the hardware store. I always keep a few of them because you never know when you can use them, but it can get in there and get some cleaning done. So there were shavings here, which, obviously my part wore off, it sheared off. So you use that, so that's just a tip. Keep these handy. You never know when you're gonna use those, but you're always gonna have a need to use them. Okay, so I hope you can see now how I've put the screws in here. This is an odd angle, but the only thing left to do, I guess you can see those. I put the screws in to give you a view from underneath. The only thing left is this screw is the one that's going to require manual because it's at an odd angle, so I'm going to have to use the flat wrench. Okay? Okay, I have finished putting it in. I got a little dirty there, but the grease that's new, I had cleaned it off. And as you can see, it's in there. I might put a little final touches of the grease in there, but it's in. You can see the sprocket is there. And so the chain actually loops around this thing and goes around. In order to put the chain, I'd have to loosen it. I'm gonna have to loosen that and then slip it around there. But it is there. I tightened everything up, and I hope you can see it. Voila.